Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So in today's video, I want to talk about Bitcoin. Okay, give you guys an update what is happening with Bitcoin today, and of course the entire cryptocurrency market. And as always, I want to show you guys a fair few charts, okay, in this video indicating that we all should be bullish right now with Bitcoin. And you know, you guys can read by the title in this video. I really want to talk about this because I feel like, this is going to be really important. So I really want you guys to just relax, sit back, relax, okay, enjoy this video. And I want you guys to really listen carefully, okay? If you guys are serious about, buying into Bitcoin, okay, and we all know why, okay? A lot of people are investing their money into Bitcoin, not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general. Is because they want to make that money. We are here to make money, guys. Okay, let's be honest here. That's like one of the main reasons why, okay, a lot of people are in fact invested into cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, right? Because they want to make that money. I feel like this video is going to be really important. So I really want you guys to not skip through this video and watch this entire video. This video is probably going to be really, really, really long. Okay, because I have a lot to talk about, right? So the real question here is, guys, okay, is it too late to invest into Bitcoin? People look at the Bitcoin price, okay, of $27,000. And yes, at one point, Bitcoin was in fact well above $60,000. It was almost at 70K. That was in fact its all-time high. If I go to the weekly time frame here, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin's all-time highs back in November of 2021 was in fact at around $69,000, almost 70K. We didn't quite hit 70K, but we almost did, right? So when people look at the Bitcoin price, even right now at $27,000, they think it's too late to invest into Bitcoin because they look at the price back in, for example, in 2020, right, or 2019 or 2018, right, when it was at, a couple $1,000s, just under 10K, right, or maybe back in 2013 when Bitcoin was at like, $100, right? They think it's too late to invest into Bitcoin. You guys understand, right? Another decade from here, Bitcoin will be worth, in my opinion, well above $500,000. That's for a fact. Okay. A lot of people out there think by the year 2030, one Bitcoin will be worth $1 million. $1 million per Bitcoin. Right now it's at 27K. A lot of people think in the year 2030, which is less than 10 years from now, one Bitcoin will be worth, more than $1 million. Think about that. Okay. And I think it's true. We know the supply for Bitcoin is really limited. Okay. Only 21 million Bitcoins to ever exist. No more, no less. Okay. And of course, since the supply, right, is low, the demand will eventually rise. And guess what? That's what Bitcoin has obviously been doing for the past, few years. Right, Bitcoin has been around for over 13 years now, right? And if you really think about it, for the past 13 years, Bitcoin has shot up like crazy. Literally back in 2013, 10 years ago, right, Bitcoin was worth $100 and over, okay? Literally, okay? And at one point it went like, a couple $100, okay? But look at the price right now for Bitcoin 10 years later, 27K. And yes, remember, Bitcoin was almost at 7K at one point. So think about that. Imagine where Bitcoin will be 10 years from now. In my opinion, I think it's going to be well above 500K. So I think, yes, it could easily reach, 600K, 700K, 800K. And yes, I do think Bitcoin will potentially reach at least $1 million per Bitcoin, 10 years from now, which is like what, 2033? So we will see. But yes, guys, we saw yesterday, if you guys haven't seen yesterday's video, we saw Bitcoin pump, okay? All the market, right, the cryptocurrency market pumped yesterday. It was an amazing day yesterday. It was in fact a green day. We saw a fair few altcoins pumping like crazy, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin pumped like over 4%. Same with Ethereum, okay? And other altcoins were in fact pumping decently as well yesterday. But you guys can clearly see I'm on the 1 hour time frame here, and we are in fact seeing some small rejections. If you guys haven't seen yesterday's video, I told you guys that this was in fact going to happen, right? So yes, Bitcoin in my opinion is still holding up really well, even though yes, it is in fact having a slight drop. Bitcoin doesn't always shoot up. We all know that. Okay, it's a really volatile asset, and some days, Okay, I say some days, but majority of the time, okay, Bitcoin does in fact not move at all. Okay, meaning it just goes on its side, consolidating, right? Bitcoin does in fact consolidate a fair bit where it just moves on the side and not much movements are in fact happening. We have been seeing that for the past few days now and for the past few weeks. It's just what it does. Okay, but sometimes it surprises a lot of us because Bitcoin, when it consolidates, it really depends what type of pattern it is in fact forming. um you know it either shoots up like crazy or it dumps like crazy, right? So it surprises a lot of investors and traders that do in fact invest or trade into Bitcoin and crypto in general, right? Because this is in fact a really volatile market. But in my opinion, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin is still holding up really well. It's just under $28,000, currently at 27.8. So in my opinion, I think Bitcoin is still holding up really well. The entire market today is in fact having a slight drop. Okay, you guys see for the past 24 hours, Bitcoin is down 1.3%. Ethereum having a slight drop as well. Same with other altcoins. Okay, and this is in fact to be expected because yesterday, like I said, the crypto market was pumping pretty decently yesterday. So this is to be expected to see these small corrections today, right? It's happened in the past. So I'm not surprised. Okay. The global crypto market cap yesterday was at, I believe, 1.17 trillion. Now it's coming at 1.15 trillion. So slightly dropped, and overall the market is down 1.5%. We're going to round it up to 1.6%. So yes, having some slight drops for the past 24 hours, okay? But this is to be expected since we saw a pretty decent pump yesterday, okay? Now, moving on, let's get to the charts, okay? Another fake out, Bitcoin. What Bitcoin did back in March, okay, 2023, right? You guys can clearly see this chart, and this is a great chart. I love this chart, okay? Back in March this year in 2023, literally just a couple of months ago, we saw Bitcoin drop all the way down to about $20,000. And when we saw Bitcoin continuing to drop down and it touched like, $20,000 and it just went under $20,000, around 19K, 4K, a lot of people thought Bitcoin will continually to drop down, right back down to its previous lows, which was around $16,000. And yes, at one point, Bitcoin actually went below 16K. It was around like 15.8K, 15.6, somewhere around there, right? And that's actually a time where I actually invested a lot of my money into Bitcoin. If you guys don't believe me, there's a video I uploaded 6 months ago back in November at this time titled "I'm Going All In on Bitcoin." And you guys can see in that video that I invested a large amount of money, almost $20,000, 17.5K to be exact, into Bitcoin. The reason why, guys, I always mention that, because you guys always ask me, is because I actually got in at a right time, at a perfect time. Because look, that was in fact its bottom. Like, I actually caught the bottom for Bitcoin. You know what I mean? If you guys don't believe me, definitely check out that video. Okay. But yeah, a lot of people thought, right, when we saw this drop happening, okay, Bitcoin will continue to drop back down to even its previous lows. People were saying it's going to go back down to $18,000, 17, 16, all that. But no, you guys can clearly see, right, the next day, it was in fact a fake out. And Bitcoin pumped 43% out of nowhere. You see what I mean? When Bitcoin just pumps out of nowhere, guys, it surprises a lot of us. Days like this does in fact happen. And guess what? Okay, right now, what we are seeing could be another fake out. It could be another fake out, and Bitcoin will potentially pump back up to $30,000 and higher than that. Okay, if I show you guys on TradingView, if I go to the daily time frame here, you guys can clearly see these marks, these lines that I drew, and these are going to be my next targets for Bitcoin in the next few months. I do in fact see Bitcoin reaching at least $50,000 to over $50,000 towards the end of this year in 2023. That is just my personal prediction for Bitcoin this year alone in 2023, right? So I believe once Bitcoin breaks above $30,000, okay, this line right here, okay, I do in fact it will, continue on to the upside. This rally that we have in fact been seeing all of 2023, you guys can clearly see that, right? All of 2023, this rally will continue. Once Bitcoin surpasses $30,000, it will go to 35, 40, and eventually, over $50,000. That's just my personal opinion. I've been telling us that many times, and you guys seem to agree with me on that one, right? I don't think it's a possibility here for Bitcoin to go back down to something like $20,000 or lower at this time. I really don't. We know the Bitcoin halving event is about to happen in literally less than a year from now. So I don't think it's the time for Bitcoin to drop massively back down right to 20K, right, which is all the way down here. I don't think that's very possible. It's just very unlikely to happen at this point, right? At this moment. Okay, it really is. So that's that. Okay, we could see another fake out in the next few weeks. We could potentially see Bitcoin pump. Okay, so short term, Bitcoin is still holding up really well. Okay, and it's looking pretty good in my opinion. And I also want to show you guys this tweet right here because I found it really interesting. I believe Bitcoin will hit $300,000 plus in the next bull market. The next bull market, okay, is going to happen and pretty much I reckon it's going to happen towards the end of the year 2024, somewhere in 2024, because of course the, Bitcoin halving is going to happen in that year, okay? Always happens every 4 years. It's a whole cycle, right? And of course the year 2025, that's going to be a great year because that's when we'll be in a bull market, right? The year 2025. So be excited for that. So yes, this person is in fact saying Bitcoin will reach $300,000 plus in the next bull market. He also says right here, you only need 3.3 Bitcoin to become a millionaire. And if you really think about it, just 3 Bitcoins, just over 3 Bitcoins to become a millionaire. If Bitcoin, which it will, in my opinion, it will hit $300,000 one day. It will in the next few years, less than 10 years. Bitcoin will eventually reach 300K. This person is saying it's going to reach it in the next bull market. So he's pretty much saying the year 2025, right? Bitcoin will potentially be at 300K plus. Think about that. Okay. So that's why I always tell you guys to adopt Bitcoin, right? Accumulate as much as you possibly can. This is obviously not financial advice. So please always do your own research, guys. Okay. Always. But I've been telling guys this many times, especially when I first started off, making videos on YouTube. I've been telling guys to accumulate at least one single Bitcoin because this one single Bitcoin will potentially change your life in the next few years. It will potentially make you a millionaire. That's all I'm going to say. I've been telling guys that many times. Okay, I know I keep repeating myself on that, but I'm going to keep saying it again because I feel like it's really important. If you own one Bitcoin in the next 10 years, for example, okay, it's going to be really rare to own one Bitcoin in the next 10 years. It's sort of rare right now to own one Bitcoin because yes, Bitcoin is not cheap. It's literally like buying a new car right now for one coin. But in the next few years, it's like going to be buying a brand new house. So it's going to be harder, guys, to accumulate Bitcoin to own, a full coin. You guys understand? Because the price will in fact rise. And this is why I always tell you guys, this is right now the perfect opportunity, okay, to get into Bitcoin, to accumulate more, buy more, okay, as much as you can, having that goal of accumulating multiple coins, even just one coin. That will be amazing, right? And just put that coin somewhere safe, okay, and just forget about it. And I promise you in the next few years, most likely you will, change your life because of that one Bitcoin, okay? Potentially you will become a millionaire. So think about that, right? And I 100% agree with this person. $300,000 plus per Bitcoin in the next bull market is very possible. And later on in this video, I want to show you guys the chart for Bitcoin. I want to talk about it, right? Why it's not too late. I want to talk about this. Why it's not too late to invest into Bitcoin right now. Okay, it really isn't. And I want to explain that. Okay, but let me go through these charts. Okay, so there's one more chart. Okay, 2 more. Right here, Bitcoin is dead, right? I actually showed you guys this chart a couple days ago, but I just love this chart. I just really want to show you guys this chart again. So every single time, guys, Bitcoin reaches a new low, Bitcoin, enters the next, bear market, Bitcoin declines, 70% or 80%. A lot of people think it's dead, right? A lot of news articles, okay, a lot of news channels, not even just people in general on social media, even in real life. People are saying, Bitcoin is dead. Cryptocurrency is dead. It's a scam. It's going to go to $0. When people are fearful, guys, you got to be the complete opposite and be greedy. That is the perfect time to get in, to start buying, to start accumulating, right? When not a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin and crypto, they're saying it's going to die out. it's dead, right? Cryptocurrency is it's a scam and one is going to go to $0 and whatever. That is the perfect time to buy. While others are fearful, you got to be greedy. It's pretty simple, right? A lot of people that like to FOMO in when Bitcoin is pumping and it's entering the next bull market. That's when a lot of people like to FOMO in, right? I don't know. That's just how a lot of our human brains operate. It's understandable, right? It's pumping, it's in the greens, and we buy. But you should do the complete opposite. You want to buy low and sell high. It's really simple, guys, right? But a lot of people like to do the complete opposite. So yes, Bitcoin right now, in my opinion, it's nowhere near its all-time highs, clearly, right? Like if we look at the chart, if we go back to the weekly time frame here, look at the Bitcoin chart, you guys can clearly see like we are nowhere near its all-time highs right up here. Okay, we're all the way down here. Okay, so you guys can clearly see we still have time. We all should be accumulating right now. This is the perfect time to start accumulating into Bitcoin. It really is. Okay, so in my opinion, I think we all should be at least dollar cost averaging, buy and invest into Bitcoin, every week or so, right? The same amount consistently, right? I think that's what we all should be doing right now. Okay, we all should be just buying and accumulating in general, right? We all should be doing that right now because I think it's a perfect time to do that. And you don't want to miss this opportunity, right? Because once Bitcoin enters the next bull market, it's going to be too late. We'll never see Bitcoin ever again at $27,000, right? Ever again. So this is literally your opportunity right now to get in still at a decent price. And when you invest into Bitcoin, you don't have to invest, 27,000. You can literally invest $1, $20, right? $50, $100, a small amount, right? And do that consistently, like weekly if you want, right? Take it slow, you know what I mean? But try to accumulate as much as you possibly can and, wait till the next bull market. And once Bitcoin pumps, reaches a new all-time high, but obviously it's going to go way higher than, 69K. So I would personally wait till it gets to at least, a really high amount, $150,000. Maybe you want to take profits there, take some profits. And then if it pumps even higher, 180, 200K or over, take some more profits, right? Because obviously when it pumps, okay, and it reaches a new all-time high and whatnot, and it's at a high price, right? That is when, guys, you want to take your profits, okay? Because while everyone else is greedy, you got to be fearful, right? It's the opposite. So that's that. So yes, there's one more chart, the halving event, okay? Our fourth halving is going to happen in literally less than 1 year from now. Here's the countdown. You guys can clearly see that, right? So be excited for that. So literally less than 1 year from now, the halving is going to happen for Bitcoin. And every single time, you guys can clearly see this, right? Every single time we have a halving event for Bitcoin, Bitcoin always tends to pump the most, and it does. And not just Bitcoin, but the entire crypto market, right? If Bitcoin is pumping like crazy, then other altcoins, other coins in the crypto market will follow and pump with it, okay? It's just how it works, right? So Bitcoin drives the market, okay? And you guys can clearly see the previous halvings, right? The first halving, the second halving, the third halving. Every single time we had a halving, right, for Bitcoin, it pumps and it tends to reach a new all-time high. So the year 2024, I think Bitcoin, towards the end of the year in 2024, I think it's going to easily reach a new all-time high of at least over 6 figures, over $100,000. I do see Bitcoin reaching 100K in the year 2024. I do. And then the year 2025, it's just going to pump like crazy. It's going to pump like crazy. Like what it did in 2021, that's what's going to happen in the year 2025. Okay, it really is. So be excited for that, guys. Okay, now I want to talk about this. Get into that answer of, is it too late to invest into Bitcoin right now? Okay, so I really want to go more in depth with this and explain it to you guys. Why it's not too late to invest into Bitcoin. It really isn't. Okay, so you guys can see this is Bitcoin right here. Okay, and this is the entire chart for Bitcoin from 2010. Yep, you guys can clearly see that, right? From 2010, it was literally worth nothing. Look at that. Look at the price of 2010. If you literally just invested $100 into Bitcoin back in 2010, you would have, and you held that investment, you would have become a millionaire today, right? But you guys can clearly see from 2010 to where we are now, Bitcoin has obviously grown, right? You guys can clearly see that. But I want to show you guys something why it's not too late to invest into Bitcoin? I want to be more in depth with you guys. Okay, for all the people out there that's wondering, is it too late to invest into Bitcoin? If you think it's too late, watch this. Okay, just watch this and listen out. So you guys can clearly see Bitcoin back in 2011 was reaching, a couple cents. It touched 10 cents back in 2010 towards the end of 2010. And then it went up, slowly to like 24 cents, 31 cents, and it just kept going up slightly. You guys can clearly see that, right? 37 cents, right? 47 cents, 90 cents, $1. Okay, Bitcoin officially hit $1 for the first time in 2011. You guys can clearly see that, right here. Okay, and then it just kept going, right? It kept going, and then all of a sudden, it shot up all the way up to $21. It shot up all the way to $21 out of nowhere, right? And a lot of people obviously were in fact in shock because obviously a couple of days ago, Bitcoin was worth, literally like 30 cents, and it shot up all the way to $21. That was massive back then. And then all of a sudden, it dropped back down to $2. Think about that. Okay, Bitcoin at one point was all the way up at $21, and it dropped all the way back down to $2. Okay, that was in 2011. Now let's move on. Let's go to right here. Okay, so it dropped to $2, right? $21. Now it's back down at it was at $21. Now it's at $2. Sorry, I'm getting this confused. And you guys can clearly see not much movements were in fact happening. It was sort of consolidating. Like I said, Bitcoin likes to consolidate, right? It likes to move on its side, right? It really does. But look, all of a sudden it pumps out of nowhere. Like I said at the beginning of this video, Bitcoin likes to pump like crazy, like out of nowhere. It surprises a lot of investors and traders, right? It really does. Okay, so look, it pumped like crazy, creating another new all-time high back in 2013, right? So you remember how I said back in 2013, Bitcoin was like at $100? Bitcoin went all the way up to $190. You guys can clearly see that back in 2013, $190 from literally a couple of dollars, right? From like $2, $3, $5, $6, $7, $13, $14. It pumped all the way up to $190 out of nowhere. Okay, out of nowhere. And then it dropped back down to $68. And I think it dropped even more. Oh, wow. It actually went higher. So look at that. It went 190 and then it went all the way down to $68. Okay, not much movements. And then boom, another pump happened in 2013. That's when it went parabolic. Okay, and people were like, wow, Bitcoin is now over $1,000. You guys can clearly see it went all the way up to $1,100, $1,128. And then it dropped massively. You guys can clearly see it. It dropped, okay, all the way back down to like over, just under $200. So at one point it was at $1,100, and then it dropped all the way down to, $176, right? In a span of a year, I think, a couple of months, right? All of 2014, it just dropped. You guys can see that. In 2015, it just dropped even more, right? And then, okay, if I really show you guys here, Bitcoin wasn't moving, right, as much. It just was stagnant, right? It was consolidating. Like I said, Bitcoin likes to move on its side. And a lot of people thought Bitcoin was dead at that time, right? At one point, it was at $1,100. Now it's at $200, $300. You guys can clearly see that. $400, right? $500, $600, right? It was slowly going back up. And you guys can clearly see what happened, right? Who remembers what happened towards the end of 2016 and, the beginning of 2017? Bitcoin pumped. You guys can clearly see that, right? 2016, not much movements. And then 2017, we saw Bitcoin absolutely pump, reaching a new all-time high of $19,000. So look, let me go back. Bitcoin was literally worth a couple hundred of dollars. And a lot of people thought Bitcoin was dead, right? It was going to drop further down and whatnot. But no, that wasn't it. Bitcoin absolutely shot up all the way up to $19,000, almost $20,000 towards the end of the year in 2017. Think about that. Okay, just think about that. All the way up to $19,000, guys. Okay, and you guys can clearly see, right, if we keep going, Bitcoin dropped massively. All the way up to $19.1 thousand, almost 20K, and then it dropped all the way down to $3.2 thousand. That was, in fact, a massive decline, a massive crash. Okay, you guys can clearly see that, right? from $19,000. Think about it now, $19,000, and it crashed all the way down to $3,200. If you're telling me that's not a massive crash, then I don't know what is, but that is a massive, massive crash. And obviously, a lot of people were in fact spooked by this, and a lot of people were in fact panicking. Okay, it's just how it is, right? So then we entered 2018, right? 2018, you guys can clearly see from 19K, right, all the way down to like $3,000. And you guys can clearly see Bitcoin wasn't really moving as much, right? It went up, to $12,000, but then it would just drop again. You guys can clearly see that. And then at one point, it dropped all the way back down to $5,000 in 2020. Not much movements for literally like 2 years, right? Yeah, for literally 2 years, not much movements. But then towards the end of 2020, okay, this is massive now. We know our previous halving event happened, okay, in 2020, right? Once that happened, a couple months later, we saw Bitcoin sort of not really moving as much, okay, around here. This is where the halving event happened. It pumped a bit, but then it just went back down. A lot of people thought it was done for, right? Bitcoin will never go back up to $19,000 back in 2017, which is all the way up here, right? Literally, people thought Bitcoin would never go back up to $19,000. But look at this. Towards the end of the year in 2020, we saw Bitcoin pump. And then once we entered, in 2021, right, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin, right, was at $36,000. And then it dropped slightly back down to 32K, but no, it didn't stop there. Bitcoin pumped even more. And that's when, guys, we really entered the next bull market. So look at where we are right now. Okay, we know what happened, right? Bitcoin pumped. It was absolutely amazing. It had a little drop right here. Okay, I say little, it was actually a pretty decent drop. And this is where I actually got in a lot of my Bitcoin, and then I pumped again, all right? And that would have been a perfect time to take profits. If you guys are wondering if I took some profits, I didn't take too much, right? I didn't take too much. I'm not gonna lie, and I kind of regret it. I'm still hodling, right? I'm doing this for long term. Remember that. But you guys can clearly see Bitcoin was at $64,000. Almost $70,000. Think about that, right? Like I said, okay. And you guys can clearly see where we are right now for Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin dropped. All of 2022, Bitcoin dropped. You guys can clearly see that. If this is a massive drop, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's down like 70% or 80% decline from its previous all-time highs to where we are now, right? Think about that. And this is where we are right now. So what I'm trying to say here is, guys, every single time throughout the years, every single time Bitcoin creates a new all-time high, then it drops down below a lot. A lot of people, right, like to say Bitcoin is dead, but it's not, guys. A lot of people were in fact fearful right here, but you guys can clearly see it's shot up. And a lot of people are having second thoughts right now, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, guys, it's not too late to invest into Bitcoin. Think about it. Imagine this area was right down here. Okay, imagine this in 2021 was right down here in this pump right here. Okay, imagine this right here was 2021. We are here right now, let's just say, right? And maybe, we're going to have a fair few pumps every now and then and whatnot. And then it's going to pump like crazy. The same cycle is going to happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Okay, I know this video is long, but I really want to explain this to you guys, right? More in depth. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? Every single time Bitcoin pumps and creates a new all-time high, it's the same cycle, right? 4 years. We enter a bull market. Okay, once we enter in the bull market, Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high. That is when, guys, you want to take your profits. That's when you want to sell, right? To make money, you got to sell, right? You got to take that money. You got to take your profits. That's how you make money. That's how you actually make money. That's what I realized, right? It's obvious. Okay, so buy low, sell high. You want to sell high, guys, right? When Bitcoin's all the way up here, this was obviously a perfect time to take your profits, obviously, because then it declined. And then once it declined, right, you would buy more. That's when you'll get in, okay? So think about that, right? Obviously, guys, this is the same exact cycle, what it's been doing for the past few years, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So it's not too late to invest into Bitcoin at all, okay? It really isn't. I know for a fact Bitcoin's going to reach over $100,000 next year in 2024, towards the end of that year, okay, in 2024. I see 100K Bitcoin. 2025, I see a 200K Bitcoin, maybe even a 300K Bitcoin, okay, maybe even a 400K Bitcoin. Call me crazy, but Bitcoin is going to pump like crazy in the next bull market like no other bull market that we have in fact been seeing, right? This next bull market, I really do believe is going to be completely different compared to the other ones. Okay, so be excited for that, guys. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. So yeah, that's that, guys. I want to go ahead and end this video. I know this video has been probably over 20 minutes easily, probably even almost 30 minutes. So I apologize for that. But this video is really important, and I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. It is not too late to invest into Bitcoin. We are still early. In fact, this is a great time right now to invest into Bitcoin because it has dropped. Even right now, I think right now is a great time to start investing into Bitcoin, right? It really is. We're still in the accumulation stage, guys. Okay, we really are. So that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you guys have not yet subscribed, if you guys are new here, please consider subscribing every single day, almost every single day, right? I give you guys updates on what's happening with Bitcoin and of course just cryptocurrency in general, what's happening around the crypto space and the crypto news, right? So if you guys are in fact investors into Bitcoin and crypto or even traders, please consider subscribing. I really would appreciate that. And of course, give this video a quick little thumbs up, guys. I really would also appreciate that as well. Share this video around. I would really appreciate that. And I guess I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.